Okay, continuing on here, as you can see, I made my building a little bit taller than I really kind of intended. But really part of the whole creativity here is trying to figure out, okay, maybe this is going to be a taller building. Maybe it'll be a 2-story building instead of 1, which is perfectly fine. And again, in this project, I want you to kind of express your own creativity. Whatever you want to do for this one is fine. It doesn't have to be one level. It could be an alien looking place. It could be kind of a modern place or an old-fashioned place, whatever you want. The best thing that I can suggest to you is definitely use reference. Reference is very important. So if you have a picture or something online of something, you'll see that you can find a lot of references online of what a building or something that you want to look at can actually provide a lot of help for you. So I would definitely recommend using reference. So what I'm going to do this is going to be a two-story place for now for me, and we'll see what happens here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ungroup this, and so let's make this a 2-building place. And what I'll do is I'll quickly select my windows, and notice that I'm clicking and dragging. It's going to select all of them. Control duplicate, and now I can move those up to create a 2-story building. And what I could do is go ahead and select it all and group it. And I need to put a roof on there, and perhaps even have, I'm going to use a cube here, and I'll go ahead and make that larger. Maybe have a flat roof on the top. Go ahead and move that up. You can see that I need to make that a little thinner there. So I'm just squeezing. I'm just making, and notice that I try not to rotate it, but use the reposition tools to kind of lift that up. You can see in the nano preview that it's a little bit over the image, but I'll scoot out so that you can see this a little bit better. And I can drop that right on top. And I could just duplicate this and move that over. It's okay if they overlap a little bit. I could make a little bit smaller as well, and then drop that on the top. There it is. And there we have kind of a 2-story building. And you can see that it's laying a little bit more above because the negative, so if you look at this area right here, this is actually, if you click, when you're in render mode, this is another way to quickly render something in a small area instead of waiting for everything to render. It's kind of it gives you an idea of what something or a little bit of it is going to look like. So you don't have to wait for the fully render. I'll show you what I mean by that. So if I stop that, there it is. It's pixelated. But if I just grab a certain area, I can fully render that and see what it's going to look like without it. Okay, so again, because I have the negative poking up a little bit higher than the actual outside wall, it's sticking up a little bit. So what I need to do is actually grab that, pull it down just a little bit so that it will match where the top of the actual positive wall is at. There we go, a little bit better. You can see that I do have a little bit of overlap, so I can pull that down just a little bit. Try to line it up. You can always work from different views as well. So from here, I can see that this is not as level as that other one, so I can move it down, line everything up. Again, it's important to kind of cycle through your different views. So now that's level. I can grab both of those now, select both roof, and again give this a color, and I'll make that like a normal roof color, brown. And again, this is just family. It's not going to apply any material or color to that, except it'll let you name that. That's my roof. Now I can go into my materials and into architectural and see if I can find something that'll look good as a roof. Maybe a plank wood. Do I want a wooden? No. And it could be any color as well, almost like a very green place. Maybe I'll choose brown in this case. There we go. Can't really see that color too well, so what I'll do is I'll change that. Go to materials again. And industrial. Maybe I'll go to a different area here. Let's see if I can go back over here and go to walls. Maybe this dungeon wall. It'll be a darker. There we go. Okay, good. All right. So you can see that it's very plain right now. I don't have anything that really is looking like you know, a place where I'd want to be at anyways. So there's different things that you can do. You can add different elements like trees. So we can go over to create and add a tree or two around. Oops, you can see that I grabbed that. Control Z will put it back into place. And now, being careful, I'll go into the top view and move that tree around a little bit. So I can kind of plant some trees around here. I can also start building a little bit more of the exterior. So again, you can use one of these windows to build a door or whatever. It's also going to change quite a bit once we start playing with the sky and fog. Remember, that adds a different element of look and feel to your environment. So you can see here how that changes the look and feel already. Some of the colors are popping out a little bit more. But for this assignment, using the same Boolean techniques, maybe build a planter just by setting in perhaps a cube. And I can build a planter right over here in front of the house. There's a lot of elements that you can add. And even using this tree over here, I can put that in the planter, make those look like the little bushes on the side. Let me show you how quickly you can do that. Control D to duplicate that tree, and I've just stuck it in that planter. That's a planter to me, but I can change this, the planter itself, to have perhaps a brick feel to it. And now I've got a little planter. The little plants are sticking out, so I have to push them back in a little bit. But you can see how quickly you can start adding some kind of decorative elements to this. In the next video, I'm going to kind of show you how to build maybe perhaps a sidewalk, and you can kind of feel, kind of see, if you're looking at something, you can see that if I just use a cube itself and perhaps line it up with the wall and then extend that, I can now build a sidewalk leading up to the house or to the building itself. Likewise, I can do a Control D and maybe on one side of it apply a different material, so more like grass, and have a yard. So Control duplicate and just kind of put that there, bring that all the way across. and add a material perhaps of, and we can go to vegetation, and I'll add some leafy foliage to that. Gotta remember which one I use, number 4. This one I can use, or I can actually leave that gray as well, but you can see what's happening here from the top view. That leafy wasn't a great color, but let me rotate this around a little bit. So I'm just going to grab that and then pull it down a little bit. So you can see that I kind of start building a little bit more to this. I've got to add my door. In the next video I'll show you how you can add mountains in the distance, and then add a little bit more decorative elements to this as well.